So 5 minutes ago, I had a creative breakdown and I almost didn't make this video. And ironically, this was the moment I wanted to talk about creativity, but my brain had a different idea. It yelled at me and it said,
"Oh, you think you're an expert now, huh? Let's see how you handle this."
then it turned down all colors, all sensations, and all thoughts. So I was just staring into the abyss. Everything was blocked. And then I thought, well, I could make this a video where I'm talking about exactly what's going on so you can get an insight about the raw process of creativity, the suffering, and what helped me to actually get through this and to make this video now. So let's start with the juicy part, right? So the first thing is that I just slept not enough. And I was just on the laptop yesterday night. So that is the big crucial part. If I don't get to bed, if I don't wind down on time and do something more, mindful and calming, then, forget it, that I will just not wake up the next morning the way I want to. So I wake up already feeling foggy-minded and dizzy. And, well, one thing leads to another, right? I grab my phone a little bit too early. I usually tell myself to not use the phone until I have done a little bit of writing, until I'm done with my morning routine. So I'm already on my phone and doing this and that. And my rule is when I write the first time in the morning, I don't use any internet. I don't browse. I don't use ChatGPT. I just write from my own brain. I brainstorm. I write little posts or something like that, or I'll continue writing on my script. And because I'm such a genius, I was like, okay, I have a major problem with my channel. I need to find a direction. Let's do some research. And what do you do when you do research? You go on YouTube and you look for inspiration. So I'm trying to solve a complex problem, very complex, that needs me to do research and to go really into myself and to look for inspiration, for other creators and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy, but I do it in the moment where it's so crucial not to do that. That is a moment I defined already for myself that this is important, that I am doing just writing and nothing else. But morning Patrick today thought it's a genius idea and just went on YouTube. Yeah. And what happened is I stimulated my brain even more. And I looked at all the amazing things that happen in the internet. I looked at titles, at thumbnails, and all the different creators. And I got so drained. I could just feel the creative life force just flowing out of me. Flowing out of me. Like, it just drained me completely. So my self-talk was just oscillating between, dude, you need to write something right now. But hey, maybe the next video will help me find a direction. And so it went on. And it was exhausting. I started hating myself. Oh, that was a mistake. I mean, you probably know how this feels. You're out there looking for inspiration, and then it doesn't really make you feel better. It also doesn't give you more inspiration, because you're looking for it in the wrong moment, in the wrong mood, And then I couldn't take it anymore. I closed the laptop and I lay flat on the ground, stared at the wall, and just let the frustration flush over me. I just stared up at the wall, at the white wall on top of me, and I just let it all flush over me. And that was actually the turning point. That's when I just kind of finally accepted that I am fucking frustrated and that I need to look away from the laptop and that I need to deal with this in a different way. And that's when everything changed. I got up. I had some food, and then I sat down and I wrote down all my frustration. I put it in my journal and I reminded myself that this is part of the creative process. And I felt such a hypocrite because I've been talking about that with people I work with. I talk about this on the internet, in my Instagram feed and my YouTube, that being lost is part of the process, right? That we feel frustrated, that we doubt ourselves as creatives. And now I find myself doing the same thing and hating myself for it, not doing any better than anybody else, and I should know better. But that's the thing. You can know all you want. This stuff just takes you by surprise. It blindsides you. And then you gasping for air. You're lying on the floor and you're hating everything around you. And it's nothing you can do except to surrender. And to accept that that's how you just feel at the moment, Accept that you feel lost in that moment. That I cannot control when it overwhelms me, And so that really helped to just do that, to write it down, to get clarity on that, and to talk to myself as I would talk to someone else about this. And then something magical happened, and I decided to make it a video, and that's the video. Ta-da! And before I recorded that video here, I just had another break from the writing process. I went to the bathroom, turned on the music on full volume, I sang along, I shaved, I took a shower, I just felt really good. I sang in the shower, and now I feel super refreshed, and I'm in the mindset to record this because I feel good, I took some care of myself. And that is the best mode to be in after such a fucking troubling day, And then I press record, and that's what you're seeing right now. I really needed to remind myself that the creative process is not linear, right? It's good to have structure, and it's really important to follow that structure, to give yourself the chance to produce that, to wake up at a certain time, to follow a certain creative routine. Because otherwise you destroy the chance. If you're like a scattered mind like I am, you destroy this momentum, the chance to get it done in the right moment. And then just one thing follows after another, right? So, and even if you follow this process, it's not linear. So at some point you will find yourself being frustrated. And it's good to just let go of this, And then you start creating something, but it might not be what you wanted to create in the first place. Like I wanted to make a different video, not a vulnerable one where I'm kind of just talking about how I failed. So here I am creating something that I didn't expect, but that's me. That's what happens today. That is my authentic self, my authentic experience that I want to share with you. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. And I feel great about this. This really makes me feel so much better than this morning where I just hated the world, And I turned what was going on with me into a piece of content, into a piece of art. Well, it's not art, but content, right? Other people would turn it into art. And that is the beautiful thing about the human experience, isn't it? We can turn our suffering into something that other people can relate to, that other people can connect to and find inspiration from, and even learn from, You can learn from my mistakes. So I did something really weird. I turned this frustration into something meaningful and productive, and I actually end up making a video today, which gives me the sense of achievement that I need. And I would feel bad if I don't get that. And the funny part is I wanted to do the video tomorrow. But today, when I was so frustrated, I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to record something. Even though I was frustrated, I just knew I needed to record it today. And so I did. I was just fighting the frustration. I was denying the emotion. And I didn't really want to feel it. I wanted to be productive. But feeling it was what made this video possible. And I'm deeply grateful that I could share this with you. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. I'm sending you a lot of love. And stay strong. Stay creative, and let me know what you think about this kind of video. Put my heart into this, and see you soon.